All right, so everybody gets a ticket. We're gonna do some drawings. So you're getting double stuff since you guys, there's only 10 that showed up, and if nobody shows up in between then, you're probably all gonna win something.
Yay.
His staker bag is right there.
But yeah, so they started fostering when they were in high school. And so then they fostered kids that would go bring your car. Gotcha. You want a chair? They didn't get it until he was 7. And like, so even like 18 different foster moms or something before they got them. So, not to say that Christ community is terrible, but it's kind of understandable. Doesn't really make it easier for all of us. But then I say what this is. So that was our and we had Luker's birthday party too. So it's like, happy birthday, Luker! Dalton's gonna die.
I don't even drink pop, so that's
So.
Yeah, it's usually pretty fun stuff. I celebrated July.
How about you? How do you feel?
How was he? And I did ask about having refunds. I think I gave you this.
I remember Charlie feeling like
little number, right?
because they were always shoved up under my cage.
That's what I'm thinking now.
Always.
Alright, I'll get you a ticket.
You?
I don't know. I didn't know that there was going to be a word.
I know. That's probably the thing that and not being able to back. Those are the two things that I need pregnant with.
Hold on to that. I'm going to be giving away prizes.
I'm more of a side sleeper.
Are you gonna come Say no more.
If you don't leave now, Chris, you'll have to take a child with you.
Oh.
It's funny. Yeah, did you get a bag?
Totally did. Yeah.
Okay, so I was right.
Okay. Because I was like, oh, that's right. There was something else.
All right, we're waiting for Dr. Jake now to leave because no boys are allowed in our hangout.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's the other boy walking around. Wigs. The beard's gonna get us away.
Oh, buddy. You want a chair? Do you want a hold? All right, so this is my first time messing with this whole computer system here, so bear with me if I go backwards, forwards, don't do nothing at all. We'll figure it out together. This is going to be a nice casual hangout, so I don't have anything completely going in any direction. If you guys want to stop, ask questions, whatever, let's do it, okay? Everything you guys are eating is organic, so it has very low sugars. It's all farm fed from animals. Everything that's in your bags, all the treats that are in there, they are all toxin free. So like all the soaps is provided and by our Safe Haven, Pure Haven. And she actually does our soap for when you guys wash your hands in our bathroom. She provides us the soaps for that. So, and also the lotion for Dr. Jake. And then we have Rachel, who used to work with us, and she does our media. And and she went full-time doing Arbonne. So she has toxin-free products as well. And then we have Mrs. Michelle Ayler, and she is doTERRA oils. So you guys have samples of each one of their products, and then we also gave you coupons for the whole month of July for the women's wellness. If you guys buy any vitamins tonight, it is 20% off for everybody. So there's that. Questions on any of that?
Does it have to be women's?
Has to be
Yes.
Oh.
Although we are raffling out a kids multivitamin, so that helps, Shanny.
Yeah.
We're gonna raffle off later on tonight before we end. We'll do a raffle since there's not very many people. Everybody might actually get a prize. We have 4 essential bars that we're raffling. A coconut Max Cocoa bar, I think it's called, but it tastes like an almond joy, delicious. Women's multivitamin, and then a kids multivitamin and a B complex. So those that missed out, sorry for them. All right, so welcome, ladies. Thank you for coming. I know it's kind of a late night and we're getting started late. Thanks, Dr. Jake.
Talks too much, I know.
I've told him. So who am I? I'm a mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a wife. I'm obviously a friend, and I work for Dr. Jake. I'll tell you a little bit about me. I came from Santa Fe, New Mexico, moved up here in 2008. I will answer the question everybody says, why? Bad divorce. Easily said. I graduated and I have a bachelor's degree in social work, and I have a master's degree in professional studies with my emphasis on human behavior. And so that kind of fit into where I was in my current career. I was for 18 years a probation officer. I got to the point where I kind of got burnt out, and society's not the same, as everybody knows, of how respectful they are to authority. As much as I loved my job, I turned to going to administrative, where I was doing the background for juvenile, overseeing all the probation officers and what they were doing with their sanctions, so like putting them into treatment homes and stuff like that. I was the one that monitored all of that, and I just decided that it wasn't for me anymore. And my husband finally said, "You are miserable, let's change your career." So I decided to become his project administrator, where I ran his construction company for 3 years, which I still have part-time.
He won't let you go.
He will not. And if he's looking, I love you. But then Dr. Jake was taking care of my daughter, so my husband used to actually come here. Originally back in 2018 he started. He was having back issues. A friend of ours told us to come here, so he came. And he started getting seen. Then my daughter was having some issues where she was having the urge to potty all the time, and so it was so bad. She used to get tissue and put it in her underwear because she thought she was going to pee in her pants. And so I talked to Dr. Jake as we were here, and I'm like, I just don't want the doctors. They keep telling me that she has UTI. I said, how can a 7-year-old or 6-year-old at this time have this many UTIs? And he was like, what? Are you kidding me? Let's get her checked. So he did an X-ray. Well, lo and behold, she had scoliosis. So he started to adjust her, and like everybody else, she started feeling good. And what did I do? Pulled her out. She's feeling good. She's better, right? So then I meet up with him. He goes to my church. So I meet up with him at church, and I said, doctor, I said, she's having a different kind of issue, but kind of similar. She's now having sickness for motion sickness. And it's 5 minutes in a car, and I'm having to pull over, and she's gagging. And he was like, what? And I said, I don't want to take her again back to the doctors. So he's like, all right. He's like, let's get her checked. Well, her scoliosis was still not back, but he said it's starting to start getting back to curving, where it was pulling enough on her stomach area that it was just getting right there. So he was like, all right, let's get her back in. So as she's starting to see him, he was saying he's looking for an office manager, and I'm like, well, working for your husband is not always the best thing. We fight quite often. And so I said, mate, I want to get him off the field because his back isn't good. So I said, all come aboard. So I jumped on, and I got to looking, because I was telling him I was having migraines every single day. And so he did obviously when I come, one of the requirements for all of us staff is that we need to get x-rays and get through and see if we need any kind of help. So he looked at my stuff and he was like, okay, my neck was completely straight. It was touching the stem of my brain. And he was like, no wonder. He's like, you have so much pressure on there. I can't imagine how you're even functioning. So he did the first adjustment and I felt a little bit lighter headache. But after the third adjustment, I wasn't having headaches until I wasn't getting adjusted like all the time. So like weekends when I wasn't seeing him, I was starting to get those headaches back. But within about 2 weeks, I started feeling the difference. Now, I have to tell you, because this is the wine and wellness. Oh, sorry, this is the wellness. So I was 175 pounds. And one day I was with my friend Kristen and I told her I'm miserable. And I said, you know, the doctor was telling me you need to lose weight because you have diabetes in your family. So I lost 35 pounds and then gained 10 back. So I'm at 25 pounds being lost, but I lost all that weight. And I have 25 more to go, and I'm gonna do it because I'm a driven woman, and this stuff is easy, right? The hardest part for me, and this is me, I don't know about you ladies, was giving up the sugars. So that was my hard part. But once I got past that, the eating part became easy. So, and I'm going to talk to you kind of about like how to shop, what to look for, all the stuff that we should be doing to get ourselves healthy, okay? So our mission, we want to empower people and be healthy, right? That's our main mission here is we want to empower you, especially women. I'm all about women power. I want you guys to be strong women. I want you to be healthy women. I want your mind to be healthy. And we do that here and we encourage is the 5 essentials, okay? And I'm sure you guys all know the 5 essentials. You've heard Dr. Jake, but we'll go through them again. So women versus men. I don't know about you guys, but when I go with my husband, he's like, oh, you need to eat carbs and you need to do this. As long as you work it off, you're going to just be fine. They're shaking their head, no, right? No. And then he's like, you need all these specific exercises. And I'm like, I don't want to be bulk. I want to be slim. I don't want to look like a man. So, you know, the biggest three things for the difference between men and women is going to be your calcium, your iron, and your selenium. Sorry, I always get that saying wrong. So with calcium, it's really a difference between the men and women is that calcium can help with build your bones for the women and help with osteoporosis, right? Where men, they can have a lot less calcium than we can because I don't know why. I don't know why. But if they have too much calcium, it can give them prostate cancer. It can contribute to the prostate cancer, which I didn't know that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. With women, iron, we have to have 18 milligrams of iron, where a man only has 8 milligrams of iron. So when they're telling you you need to eat like them, imagine they're trying to force you to eat all this stuff with iron in your body, or telling you need less iron, in your body, and you're like, I need more iron, you know? So don't always listen to your man. And then the men has the selenium where it can reduce their risk of prostate cancer. So that's them. We don't have that in ours that it affects us by any means. So there's that. And if I go too fast, let me know. I'm trying to keep this under so you guys can talk. Oh, I'm sorry.
You're talking so fast and so loud, and I have.
Do you want me to move over?
I have hearing problems, and I have anxiety and stress. And I'm gonna leave because you're talking too fast, and I can't hear
just saying.
everything you're saying all at once. It's so fast.
I can slow down.
Because I'm trying to understand you.
Okay.
But my husband's coming to get me.
Okay.
Because I can't handle it. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. And you should have just said, can you slow down? I would have been fine with that. But you do what you need to do to take care of you, okay?
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize.
You're a wonderful speaker. Don't get me wrong. It's just with my hearing. I have hard of hearing.
Yeah, don't
And
worry
I'm
about
trying to read your lips, and you talk so fast, I can't do it.
it. It's okay, it's okay. And that's what I was just gonna say, I talk fast, so if you need me to slow down. So how about I slow down while you're here, and when your husband comes, you go, okay? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And I'll give my daughter all this whatever. You can have it. Okay.
So, the other things that guys have that are different than women is thyroids, okay? So with women, we have more, tell me if I'm going still fast, okay?
I'm watching your lips.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, do not
It's just-
apologize.
It's just hard for me to hear you.
Don't apologize.
I can only read your lips.
You're fine.
Because you're, I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. So thyroid issues, 1 out of 8 women will have a thyroid issue, okay? Where the thyroid will affect men, but not as often. So there's that. Women have the osteoporosis. So with that, that's like building your bones, making sure they're strong, right? The estrogen levels, they drop during menopause. And that's usually going to be during, and when menopause comes, guess what happens? Bone loss, right? So we got to kind of make sure that we're taking the right vitamins and we're making ourselves healthy, especially after a certain age. I know I'm at that age where I'm just like, I need to make sure I'm taking care of me. Heart disease, hard to believe, and I know during doctor report, Dr. Jake talks about how long it takes for heart disease to develop. Does anybody remember during the doctor report? So it develops, it starts showing signs 7 to 10 years. But it already started having that inside your body. Can you imagine that you're not seeing signs for 7 to 10 years? So like my mom just had a heart attack in February. She had blood clots. And they had to go in and put a stent in and open it up. But she had already started to have these things developed before. She just didn't have the signs until 7 to 10 years later. So these are things as women that we need to make sure that we're taking care of ourselves. Depression. Women have a lot higher rate of depression, or at least it's noted because women talk about it more than men do. So most of the stuff that are offset for depression you'll find is with after having pregnancy. We have the what is it called? Postpartum. Thank you. My mind went blank right when I was thinking about it. Also, we get with depression. The other ones were my mind went blank on it. Pregnancy and menopause. Menopause was the other one. So menopause, you're going to start seeing that depression. You want to look for the sadness, feeling empty, feeling alone, thoughts that you might not usually have. So when you start having those are the times to let's talk about it. If you don't want to talk about it with me, but find somebody, because depression is really high for women. And they say that it also, for the young teenagers, are also the other ones, because they're getting through that time where they're trying to find themselves. Who are they, So those are the difference between men and women. Oh, I think I went too fast, didn't I? It was already on there. All right, so here's our 5 essentials. And since you're kind of new, our 5 essentials are going to be the chiropractic, it's going to be nutrition, it's going to be your mindset, it's going to be exercising, and toxins. And oxygen and exercise kind of go together. Yeah. So we kind of clump them together.
Remember to breathe when you exercise.
On my watch, I have an Apple Watch, so it tells me to breathe, and I'm like, I am breathing, watch!
Well, sometimes when I'm getting adjusted, like I might be holding my breath and not realizing it, and then the chiropractor says, make sure to breathe or exhale or something like that. I was holding my breath and not even realizing it, like waiting for that adjustment. So I'm like,
Because you know he's going to tell you, hold your breath for a second, right?
Yeah. Exhale.
All right, so chiropractic. It's supporting your nervous system. That's the main thing, right? Everything is connected. So here's your spine, all the stuff is connected. So we want to make sure that we are supporting by going and doing the core chiropractic, especially as women again. And I don't know about you, but all my life I probably had scoliosis because I was the hunched kid. You know, I had a bigger chest, so I was always hunched over as it was, kind of trying to hide it from all the boys. And I developed that whole, like, I can even feel myself where I have to start trying to straighten up. And then now, what do we have? We have the electronics. And my daughter is one of the worst ones with her head down. I find myself too, where I'm trying to like look at the phone this way now. I'm like, I'm gonna get it adjusted right?
Scoliosis is really bad.
It is.
I have it, my daughter Samantha has it. Do you have it, honey?
I have a curved area.
Scoliosis?
By the technical term, but not the same as Sam's.
Sam's is really bad, and baby girl kicked her in the tummy and made her back hurt.
Yeah. Just my sister's pregnant.
Oh.
The kid's doing somersaults.
Oh.
That's what she's talking
Yeah.
about.
Okay. I was like, let's talk after.
She did such a big somersault that it popped my sister's back.
Oh, yeah, yeah. She can't go to the doctor until after the 4th. I'm worried about her. I told her.
Well,
don't
she can
try.
always call us and we can take a look at it, Dr. Jacobs.
No, she's in South Carolina.
She can hop on the plane.
I would have my sister here if she was here.
Yeah, I told her to
I'd have her.
come here because of the pain of the snow.
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
Yeah. I get it. I wish I didn't
I
have
have
to go to the snow either.
osteoporosis and osteoarthritis, and I have fibromyalgia, and I have scoliosis of the spine.
Then maybe you need to come in.
I did, but it hurt too much.
Did you talk to him?
Yeah, and he did something to my head because he said my head was, my skull was not correct. It was off.
He did a baby adjustment.
Yeah, he did a little
He
adjustment,
said that you can come back whenever you want.
but I'm too afraid
Yeah.
because it hurt so bad and it made my whole neck swell up and I couldn't breathe.
So why don't we talk another day? I can call you and we can talk a little bit.
Yeah, that.
Okay, you can get the information from my daughter.
Perfect.
My husband will be coming soon.
Yeah, no problem. But we'll talk. I'll call you and you and I can kind of talk a little bit about it.
Okay.
Okay. The other thing with chiropractic is it self-heals your body. So one thing I learned that I thought was really cool, and I don't know if that's him that drove up, but I thought was really cool is that your body will every 5 years start to re-heal itself and like fix itself. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. When I got my nutrition certificate, that was one of the things that I learned, and I was like, that's really neat to know you have such an amazing body that it just self-heals itself every 5 years, right? Doesn't mean go out and go get drunk and kill your liver, but. And then obviously the other parts are like the dietary adds into that chiropractic, making sure you're using the right nutrients, all that stuff. So, questions on that? Okay. So what do you guys know? What do you know about shopping and being healthy? Anybody? Well, some fruits.
Stephanie just said it.
Organic's good, yes, I'll go. But you're right, fruits and vegetables are good. There's just some fruits that are better for you because they don't have as high sugars.
I don't shop when I'm hungry.
Don't shop when you're hungry.
Don't shop when you're hungry.
April's the worst at that. I realized like, I was like, oh my God, I have no food in my refrigerator. I'm starving, I need to eat, right? Fail. So my first advice would be to try and do the shopping online where you shop and they deliver to your house, because then you have a list that you make and you don't see all the goodies or smell them, because that's my bad is I smell and I'm like, oh, I want that bread. Ooh, those donuts look really good, right? What should you avoid? Does anyone know? Sugar, number one. Salt, lowering it. For salt, I would do it the Himalaya salt. Love it. And I can tell when I go to restaurants, like they have heavy salt in all their food, and I'm like, ooh, I don't like it very often. Yeah. And I'm just like, I go out thinking I'm gonna do something great, and then I go home feeling like so crappy because of all the stuff that I put into my body.
So where do you eat out? You can't really find good places.
What I have learned to do is obviously I can't have any of those fried foods like the lovely fries or onion rings and fried pickles that April loves so much because they put those are already pre-made stuff. But if you go into restaurants and you tell them I don't want seasoning on my stuff, they will not put seasoning. And just so you know, you get fresher food because they have to. Some of those stuff are already pre-seasoned, so they have to give you a fresh like steak, for instance, or a piece of chicken because most of those are pre-seasoned, which I learned from a friend who worked in the restaurant business. Yeah. So I always go in and I say, I don't want any seasoning on my stuff. And then I know their cheese is processed cheese for the most part. So I ask for no cheese. So it's pretty plain. When I was in that like crazy losing weight mode, I didn't eat any of their dressings because their dressings have sugars and starches in them. All of them will have those. So I would go and get lemons and I would squeeze the lemon over mine, or I would carry my own little dressing in my purse and I'd be like, put it out. and one of the waiters like, I see this so often now.
You have to go ahead and be prepared.
You do. You do.
Think way ahead.
Right. And I mean, and I'm not saying you have to do what I did, but if you're trying to get into that healthy, really trying to change your life and your living mode, you have to change that mindset when you go in of preparing. And like when I go to a restaurant, I look to see what's on their menu. So I know exactly what can I order before I get there. So I'm not going off. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I don't even look at the menu because if I look at the menu, I'm gonna be like, oh, I know I want calamari, right? No, that's right. So how do we shop? What is a good way to shop? I don't want to say right way because there's no right way and everybody has their own way of doing it.
Don't go hungry.
Don't go hungry, number one. There you go. That's a huge one. Shop the perimeter. Everything on the outside is your healthy foods. All the middle aisles, those are going to be your refined and your processed foods. Those are the ones you'd want to stay away from. Now, if you do go into those aisles, which we all wander in, check the sugars. You know, how much sugars are in there? What is actually in there? So like the crackers you guys had and the little garlic parsley toast, those were made with extra virgin oil. So you don't want vegetable oils. Those are really, really bad. So like avocado oil is really good. Avocado oil burns. And so like if you have it on high, you're gonna have like all kinds of smoke in. Trust me, I've done that one too. So you have to, if you're gonna do avocado oil, you do it low. Coconut oil is really good. It will give a coconut taste. I love doing coconut oil in brownies. It makes a really good brownie, let me tell you. What else? It's avocado, virgin oil, and coconut oil. I'm just thinking, sorry, I look around it as I think, I'm like off the top of my head. Yeah, it's extra virgin olive oil, olive oil. Yeah. And the sugars, you want to try and have as low as sugars as you can. Make sure they're not those they're going to have like syrups in there. They're going to have different kinds. So just kind of watch that sugar intake. Stevia, if you have to replace, is good. That's what I used when we went to Orlando. I forgot to pack me stevia, and then I had to do that horrible fake sugar, but it's better than me doing the real sugar. Yes, aspartame. Oh, that was gross. And you can, and your body feels the difference, like when you're used to it. So the other things that I learned, and Christina had to refresh my memory earlier, is when you look at labels, they have numbers on them, right? When you're looking out in the back, they have those little numbers that they scan through. So if they have an 8 on it, that's a GMO. So you don't want those ones. You're wanting anything that starts with a 9. Those are organic. So if they're saying organic, make sure you're looking because sometimes they might be saying organic, but they're really not organic, right?
And that's for fruit and vegetables.
Fruits and vegetables, yes. sorry, thank you. Now, going to fruits and vegetables. We do two plans with Max Living. That's the core plan and the advanced plan. So the core plan is a little bit more leniency where you can have more fruits, more vegetables in there. Where the advanced plan is really strict. And us as a group, Christina, Jessica, myself, and Dr. Jake, we are all going to go on the advanced plan after the 4th of July. We agreed that it was probably the best.
It's like
So
tomorrow.
let's get this out of our system all week long, right? Let's have the wine. So we're going on the advanced plan, which is gonna be like the no alcohol, the no sugars. With the healthiest fruit is gonna be your green apples, your berries, grapefruits, lemons, and limes. Those are gonna be what they consider your healthy fruits. And then vegetables, there's quite a few vegetables you could do on either plan, so. And then the advanced plan, obviously, no sugars. The core plan, you can have some sugars. You just have to kind of watch them. So my biggest thing with everybody, and I'll tell you, is Christina's our 5 essentials nutrition. She's going to be able, or coordinator, sorry, 5 essentials coordinator. She's the one that if you guys are wanting to do a plan, you don't know which plan might be for you, if you want to go down this road, or even, hey, how do I eat healthier? She would be the girl that you would talk to. And if she's not around, you can talk to me or Dr. Jake, obviously, whatever you feel comfortable with. The other thing for shopping, the meats or the cheeses, and I think I even have it on one of the slides. Let me see. I think we went through it. Oh no. Meats and cheeses, and the milks, you want to make sure they're grass-fed. You can, and there's specific like butter you can buy that's grass-fed. Those are the ones that have less sodium in it. They're going to be the healthiest for you, so if you want to go that way. Fish, obviously, is going to be good, except for salmon, they say is higher in the area of the line of not so healthy, but I love salmon, so. Wild.
Yeah, just
Wild cuts.
go.
What about like non-dairy cheeses? Is there any recommendation on the healthiness of various non-dairy cheeses?
Costco has a really good sheep cheese that we use a lot.
They have a dairy issue, huh?
Yeah, our kids can't eat dairy, so we're always looking out for substitutes.
Yeah.
Goat cheese is a good one.
Goat
Goat cheese is really good, and
Strong
There's a shop that
Yeah.
I'm using called Daya. It's Daiya.
Oh, yes.
It has really good.
I've had that
We
brand
use their
before.
cream cheese.
Oh, good. They have a cream cheese?
The Daya?
Yeah.
Yeah, from like Natural Grocers
Wow,
or
okay.
Fresh Time or something.
I've been looking around.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
See, this is a great one. My ladies. All right, so moving on. Mindset. Obviously, I love this picture. Almost reminds me of Little Z. Stress, sleeping, and relaxing. Everybody needs 8 to, especially us women. We don't get it, but we should be getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Like I said, we don't get it. We should be getting it. Relaxing. Find something that relaxes you. You know, whether it's reading a book, yoga, if it's exercising. For some people, exercising doesn't relax them, where it relaxes me. I get stressed out. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym. My other thing is that I'm really big on Bible study. So like I have a little room. It's called my prayer room. I go into my prayer room. I write prayers. And it's my peaceful time. Or I read a book in there. I have like this God book that I read. And it's just my peaceful time. So what can you do to get yourself from being in that stress? Maybe relaxing before bed. One of the biggest things is take the electronics away. I've learned to do that myself. And I told you, I'll go to bed and I'll watch a movie. And then at a certain time, I'm like, okay, now my body's relaxed. I'm finally getting there. I put the phone away and it's gone for the rest of the night. I used to get up in the middle of the night, go use the bathroom and check my phone. And it was mainly because my mom had the heart attack. So I'm making sure like I didn't miss a phone call and I wasn't worried. Now I have the volume up so that if something should happen in the middle of the night, I have it ready for me, but I don't look at it because otherwise, guess what? All those rays hitting my face, I'm wide awake again. And then then my mind starts thinking of all the things that I have to do here at work. What do I have to do with my husband? Or what do I have to do with Haley? And oh my God, I have all these things going. So I just take the electronics out. And that way I can try to sleep. And some people can go exercise like the light yoga exercise and it helps them with sleeping, whatever you can find to relax yourself. We talked about oxygen and exercise. That's a really big thing. So on Mondays and Fridays, we do a workout with Dr. Jake. It's the Max T3. And it's pretty much like a HIIT. So it's really high intensity for a short period of time. We do 6 minutes. Max T3 is actually a 12-minute exercise, but we usually do about 4 minutes of warming up, and then it's 6 minutes of like intense exercise that we all just hate him because he drives us crazy. He does the hardest thing. It's like, oh, you're gonna do like 2 minutes of squats, and we're like, no more squats. And we're hurting the next day. We're walking like but it's actually and I think to myself, it's only 6 minutes. Can you imagine doing this like longer than that? And how much you did in 6 minutes. So it's really good. And the HIIT is like one of those high intensity programs where you go really high, but for a very short period of time, just like Max T3. So these are the high recommended by all of the studies. They were saying that those are the ones that you should be doing. I kind of do a little of both. Like Kristen and I, we work out together. She's my workout partner. We go and we do the hot works where it's in a sauna with 128 degrees and we work out for 30 minutes, but it's not heavy. It's yoga, Pilates, like really light stuff. And the next day we don't feel as bad, and it's because of that hot heat in there. It helps with your bones. It's really crazy because then when I work out with Dr. Jake, I'm like dying the next day for 6 minutes, and I could do 30 minutes in this hot works, right? The other thing I like to do, and it's my own personal thing, just because it does take my stress away, is I go to Genesis and I run. And I try to beat my record. So I set myself goals. You know, like I hadn't run in 3 months because of COVID. They had everything shut down. So my running 1.5 miles, I did it in 17.53 minutes, which to me that's like it's horrible timing. I was so mad at myself. But then I was like, okay, for 3 months not running, that's not too bad. Yeah, so I have to kind of give myself breaks, but now I set myself a goal. So next time I go in, I want to be 17 minutes, not 53 seconds after, right? And so I can, and if you set yourself a goal, and I'm one of those ones that like when I do something, I got to do it. Like I have to complete it because it drives me crazy, kind of like those wrinkles in my pink little. It's been driving me crazy since I pulled it out. And then figure out what's right for you. Like I said, your husbands are going to say, this is what you need to do. But it might not be right for you. And you know your body. Nobody knows your body like you do. And Dr. Jake will tell you he knows what you should do too. And I love him, bless his soul.